Mind. What is mind? A question that everyone wants an answer to. Let's start in order. At the end of the cycle on Earth, the physical body of a person disintegrates, and the soul flies away somewhere. Everything is clear with the body. And, here, the soul energy dissolves in space along with all the accumulated experience information. As previously mentioned, information is virtual. It is in space in the form of vibrations of energy. Intelligent emptiness equals infinity equals energy in its purest form. The mind is an energy formation, connection, cohesion that triggers the cause and effect pattern of development and growth scenario of a living organism. Reason is one of the forms of consciousness, self-conscious reason, directed at itself and the conceptual content of its knowledge, Kant, Hegel. Reason expresses itself in principles, ideas, and ideals. And what are principles, ideas, and ideals, and what is their component? These are the main vibrations of the field of a particular person, which are his driving force. These vibrations either attract similar or repel opposing energy currents. This is a kind of natural selection at the energy level. The mind, as a mind that is conscious of itself, correlates not only different contents with each other, but also with itself with this content. Because of this, the mind can hold contradictions. That is, in fact, it recognizes the flow of energy and distributes, as appropriate, their vibrations. The meaning of the mind corresponds to the Latin word intellectus, understanding, the quality of the psyche, consisting of the ability to adapt to new situations, the ability to learn from experience, understanding and applying abstract concepts, using their knowledge when interacting with the environment. The action of reason, as a comprehension of the universal, is closely connected with human speech, language, which assigns to one sign an indefinite set of real and possible, past, present and future, phenomena, similar or homogeneous to each other. When we say a phrase, we transfer energy to each other. Vibrations that change the frequency and amplitude of the oscillation of everything interacting around us. In this way, we affect the minds of other people, and they, in turn, affect us. If we consider the linguistic sign in its entirety, inseparable from what it expresses, then we can recognize that the real essence of rational thinking is expressed in words, from which rational analysis distinguishes its various forms, elements and laws. Philosophy. The parameters that form the distinctive features of the mind include the amount of working memory, the ability to predict, activity, logic. Multi-level, 6 layers of neurons, hierarchy of system selection of valuable information. Consciousness. Memory. In fact, the mind is the system by which the person himself communicates with his environment and exercises control over it. The individual uses the mind to pose and solve problems related to survival, and to direct the efforts of the organism in accordance with the solutions found. The mind consists of 2 parts, the analytical mind and the reactive mind. The analytical mind is the rational, perceiving, conscious mind that thinks, observes and remembers data, as well as solves problems. The reactive mind is the part of the mind that works exclusively on an irritable responsive basis. The reactive mind is not subject to the volitional control of a person, it uses force, controlling the consciousness of a person, his goals, thoughts, body and actions. In other words, these vibrations of energy take a defensive reaction not to perceive energy flows that do not correspond to the charge of the created field. Reason is a philosophical category expressing the highest type of mental activity, opposed to reason. The separation of reason, as a higher stage of cognition in comparison with reason, was clearly carried out in the philosophy of the Renaissance by Nicholas of Cusa and J.S. Smith. Bruno, being associated by them with the ability of reason to comprehend the unity of opposites that reason breeds. The distinction between reason and reason as 2 abilities of the soul is already outlined in ancient philosophy. If reason as the lowest form of thinking cognizes the relative, earthly, and finite, then reason directs to the comprehension of the absolute, divine and infinite. The mind is made up of mental picture images, which are records of past experiences. The shapes of the pictures are formed by means of the frequency of vibrations of the energy field and change under the influence of energy flows on it and in contact with the vibrations of other fields. In a reasonable void, there are all options for events and their solutions. The mind of a single hologram man is a piece of the common. It is the energy of the observer, creating pictures and images of his world, setting the direction of events. The mind is the energy that determines everything. How we will build our world, what criteria we will adhere to when passing through our earthly experience, our attitude to life, our principles and attitudes. The vibrations of the mind filter out the energies that pass through our field. Question.